Time moves slowly but passes quickly. Alice Walker said that, and I'm saying this. Welcome to High and Low. Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Basketball Show. Welcome to a special secret episode of the High and Low Basketball Show. This is episode number 200 and Ant, aka episode number 201, a newly minted and undisputed alpha of the Minnesota Timberwolves, an Olympic gold medalist, Olympic champion, Anthony Edwards. Well, he wore the number one as the Sigma and Omega of the Timberwolves of Minnesota from his rookie season to 2023 before switching to the number 5 for the 2023-2024 NBA season. Now, keep in mind, Ant wore the number 5 in high school and college to honor his mother and grandmother, who both passed away on the 5th of the month. And Ant himself was born on August 5th. Shout out to August babies.
Amen, brother. Amen. Love this. All right.
Now, upon arrival in Minnesota, he learned that Malik Beasley had already taken the number 5. Ant did what I would do, and he tried to press Malik Beasley for the number, but Malik Beasley didn't give it up. To no avail. As an alternative, he took the number 1 to commemorate his number 1 draft pick status. Beasley left Minnie, which left the door wide open for Ant to snatch back the number 5, and the rest is history. Fun fact, I picked the number 21 when I made the junior varsity team because 13 wasn't available for whatever reason. I played 2 games in that jersey, 2 solid games before my coach came to me asking for the jersey back. He told me they were retiring a former player's jersey, and this was his number. In fact, it was the same jersey he wore when he played at the high school back in the day. So instead of automatically handing the jersey over, 15-year-old me boldly asks my coach, the head coach, well, what do I get if I do? And then, of course, he laughed, and I think he respected the boldness because he offered to get a jersey with the number 13 made. Brand new. I said bet. We had a great season. Never wore another number again. It was 13 for life. Anyway, welcome back to the show. My name is Ike Amaechi. Usually, I'd be introducing Sir Mitch of House Orsatti and the guest, Stephen Leslie, Hugo the Sheik, Sean Khan, a.k.a. Sean Controversy. But no, this is just me right here.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
But hey, you know what? I got a little surprise for you a little bit later. Little surprise. You might hear some of those voices. You might. Maybe. Anyway, around here, we live by a principle governed by the high and low lives of the world, which means we talk about basketball, especially and specifically the NBA. And we talk about it at any time, anywhere, north, south, east, west, high and low. After months of silence, after months of reticence, I thought it'd be a good idea to come back with a random episode. Just random. Just doing it for the culture. But hey, since I last spoke to you, a lot has happened. So much has happened. Last time we talked, the Celtics weren't world champs yet.
Why is everything upside down?
The U.S. hadn't secured that Olympic gold yet. Last time we talked, Drake and Kendrick Lamar were still cordial frenemies. J. Cole wasn't such a and of course, Diddy was still a free man last time we spoke. The world was a very different place. But today, nepotism is alive and well in the NBA because you got Bronny James, who officially played basketball in a Laker uniform, which is crazy to say out loud when you think of players like Mac McClung, who can't even find a spot at the end of a bench in the league. I say this, but he'll be on a G League roster in like a matter of weeks. He was the 55th pick. I mean, what are we expecting? Paul George is a Philly resident, injured Philly resident, because he's out indefinitely, doing Paul George things. Russ is playing next to Jokic. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is a Knick. You got DeMar DeRozan writing books, crying about leaving Toronto years later, and he's in Sacramento.
Somebody's being negative. I'm going to go.
It's the start of a brand new NBA season. We've had blockbuster trades shifting the balance of power in the conferences. We've had big retirements. D Rose, thank you very much for your wonderful career. We've had legends pass away. Rest easy to Kimbe. The league decided that preseason back-to-backs were a good idea. It's been a busy period leading up to the start of the season, and what better time to drop an episode and add high and lows, 2 pennies to the thousands of conversations happening, as if our opinion matters more than any. Or at least it matters to you, at least. Anyway, I want to thank you so much, listeners, for joining us. High and low lives to the world. It's always appreciated. Hope you're having a great week, because it's another week, and it's a surprise episode, because if there's more NBA, then of course there's more high and low. This week in NBA history, it was the rise of the Americans. On October 23rd, 1967, the New Jersey Americans, now known as the Brooklyn Nets, made their debut in the ABA. Under the ownership of Arthur Brown, the franchise kicked off their journey with a 110-107 win against the Pittsburgh Pipers. The team had a rocky start with venue issues, some financial issues. They didn't last that long. The Americans played in the Teaneck Armory, which they had to share with other events. In fact, they lost an opportunity to make the playoffs because of scheduling issues with the venue. The Americans finished the season tied with the Kentucky Colonels for the final playoff spot. Now, it was decided that there would be a 1-game playoff to determine who would advance. However, the Americans' venue was booked, and their second option, the Long Island Arena, was deemed unsuitable because the playing surface just wasn't up to snuff. So the Americans were forced to forfeit, giving the Colonels the final playoff spot. That's crazy. My question is, why wouldn't the league then consider playing in Kentucky? Like, why were the Americans' venues the only option, to the point where you now give their spot away to the Colonels? Anyway, the season laid the foundation for what eventually would become the modern-day Nets. It's funny to think that a franchise with such humble beginnings is now a staple of basketball in Brooklyn. Anyway, it's a little something for the NBA history nerds. Things are certainly happening in the NBA, and even though we've been away, you still have questions, and, well, I guess we still have answers. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about something important.
Now, I don't know if you remember high and low listener Biggums. It's been a while. Biggums from Thousand Oaks, California. Now, Biggums love to throw questions at us almost every week, and today is no different. He sent me a timely DM asking about the show, and I told him, I was thinking about dropping a surprise episode. He said that if I do, he has a question. Of course you do, Biggums. His question is this. In honor of Derrick Rose retiring, if you could have one or the other on your roster in peak form for 5 whole seasons, would you rather have D Rose or Vince Carter? Great question. Wow. But yeah, shout out to Biggums, and shout out to the folk in Thousand Oaks, California. Low key, I've been looking on Zillow. Been looking at properties in Thousand Oaks, even Santa Monica, Pasadena, even. A friend of mine thought I was serious and tried to pitch me on LA proper, but yeah, I don't know, man. LA's a great city, and I've had a great time every time I've been there. But downtown LA is not it. It's not for me these days, respectfully. Feels a little too, what's the word? Post-apocalyptic, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm burning minutes. Let me answer Bigum's question. D Rose versus Vince Carter. At a glance, I think it'd be easy to give this to D Rose, since he's the one of the two who took home an MVP trophy. That happened back in 2011, but the numbers are pretty close. In fact, Vince put up bigger numbers in his third season, arguably his best season in 2001. Vince's traditional stats were better across the board. His per 36 stats were better than D Rose. His advanced stats were better. D Rose PER in 2010-2011 was 23.5, while Vince was at 25. So the metrics are going to tell one story, but let's talk about impact. So Vince Carter at that time was a cultural icon. early 2000s. Not only was he leading the Raptors to wins, he was doing it with flair, style, absolute authority, aggression. He was doing things NBA fans hadn't seen since, I don't know, Jordan's peak athletic years a decade before. But the Raptors never won more than 47 games during the Vince Carter era. Now, peak Derrick Rose, well, he led the Bulls to 62 wins. They were the best team in the NBA at that point. Granted, the Bulls had better coaching, better team around D Rose, but I mean, Rose was the BMW engine with that Ford exterior, while Vince was more of a Jaguar with a Ford motor under the hood. If you get what I'm saying, if you can give me that version of Derrick Rose for 5 straight seasons, that version, we're closer to a chip than I would be with peak Vince for 5 seasons. I mean, peak Vince gives me 2 conference final appearances, maybe. I think peak Derrick Rose gets me to the conference finals in year 1, championship in year 2, 3, maybe 4, or maybe conference finals in year 1 and 2, and a championship in year 3, 4, 5. I don't know. You might disagree, but I don't know. Happy to hear who you would pick in the comments. I think you can do that on Spotify. I think you can put a poll up on Spotify. We'll do that. I'll look into that. Anyway, thank you for the question, Bigums. Great question, much appreciated. Quick reminder to High and Low Lives: if you want to leave a question for us to answer on the show, don't, because we're not officially back. Instead, you can send your DM to us on TikTok and More High and Low, or on Instagram at Get High and Low. Links are in the show notes. It's time for us to wrap this segment in plastic, pour some boiling hot vegetable oil all over it, so hot that it melts the plastic and the segment together and turns it into this hot, oozing, gooey mess like That Woman in the Substance. I don't know if you've seen that movie. But anyway, basically means that we have to take a break. When we come back, I have a surprise for you. I did promise you that surprise. It's coming. This is the High and Low Basketball Show.
This moment is brought to you by Vonn+Abrahamm for High and Low listeners. This week on the High and Low NBA show, we're sharing the top 5 most followed NBA teams on Instagram as of this month. According to Captivate.io, the 5th most followed NBA team on Instagram is the defending champion Boston Celtics with 8.2 million followers. Even a championship can't make them number 1 in the hearts of NBA fans.
What did you say?
Number 4 is Chicago with 10.1 million followers. It must be the Jordan aura keeping fans locked in. What else could it be?
Did you hear that?
Number 3 are the Cleveland Cavaliers with 16.5 million followers. Similar to Chicago, a legend drives this number, but the Cavs have a solid team to build on that popularity. Number 2 are the Lakers of Los Angeles with 24.6 million followers on Instagram. It's the history, the prestige, and the current roster of stars drawing the attention of Instagram audiences. And the most popular NBA team on Instagram
Drum roll!
is Golden State. The Warriors dynasty wasn't too long ago, and Steph Curry is still must-see TV. Let us know which teams you follow on social media. Let's get back to the episode.
Welcome back. I'm Ike Amaechi, and you're listening to the High and Low NBA show, or the basketball show. NBA show, basketball show, same thing. Just before the break, I said I had a surprise. And that surprise comes in the form of these 3 familiar voices. Got the guest, Stephen Leslie, Sean Khan, a.k.a. Sean Controversy, and Mitch Orsatti, a.k.a. Sir Mitch of House Orsatti. We're supposed to have Hugo the Sheik here, but I don't know, man. I mean, these guys were banished to the far reaches of parts unknown, but they're back. And it seems that Hugo couldn't find his way out. But hey, I'm glad you guys are here, back for this surprise episode of High and Low. Now, we're not fully and officially back. It's like kind of like hanging out with your ex, but you've established that this doesn't mean that you're moving in together or getting engaged. We're just having fun.
Are we getting up to something else here? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't hang with my ex.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Anyway, but it's only right that we get together to have a conversation because it's the start of a new NBA season, and we've been doing this since 2020, right? Yeah, long time. So it's almost like a tradition for us to get together. But yeah, it's been a while, man. How you guys been doing?
Like we never left, eh?
Right?
No, I got someone pregnant.
Oh,
See what happens when podcast is not a thing.
you're out there hanging out with your ex, or what's going on?
No.
Was it official?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, how things change. I mean, last time we were having these conversations, I mean, Steven wasn't getting tea for his wife. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like now he has a baby coming. He's nervous too. So let's take it easy on him today.
Yeah, everyone's coming in this house.
No promises. Pardon?
Huh?
Everybody's coming in this house.
Oh my! Hey, yo!
Get the baby lotion.
Johnson & Johnson stock is
something
up.
a little more innocent here. I feel like High Low has seen the birth of 3 babies since we started this podcast.
Have
Is
we?
that right? 3?
Stevens will be the 3rd.
Okay, yes. Stevens will be the 3rd. Yes.
Are 2 of them yours?
Yes. Two of them.
Oh,
Two of them are
that's
Sean's.
selfish.
Sean got someone pregnant twice.
Is it the same person? Okay, just trying to make sure.
Well, before we jump into the segment, because I do have some basketball matters to discuss with you gentlemen, rapid fire round. Quick one for some egregious and outlandish opinions just to whet the palates and get a sense of how you've been feeling about 2 of the bigger events to occur this year since we last spoke on the show. So, Mitch. Kendrick Lamar and a guy named Drake.
Yeah.
They've engaged in some musical warfare over the summer. It gave us some memes, some allegations. It gave us a summer anthem, a bit of heat between LA and Toronto. Never thought I'd ever see beef between LA and Toronto. But ultimately, who won the battle between Kendrick and Drake?
Highlight of the summer, by the way. So great for music fans, especially great for Kendrick fans. If anybody thinks Drake won that battle, hit me up because I need to know why you think that. I don't even think he took a round. It was so categorically won by Kendrick, and to be honest, he's still winning it. Like, we've got the Super Bowl coming up still, and who knows what's going to happen there. I can't wait. And Drake keeps pumping out weak features that nobody's checking for. It's like, it's so over for Drake, I think, as a whole, like maybe his whole career, I think maybe. And Kendrick just came out, unscathed and dropped the most sinister diss track maybe of all time with Meet the Grams. If you weren't online for when Family Matters dropped and then Meet the Grams dropped like shortly after, you missed out on the moment of the year. Like, Twitter was the place to be.
It's almost as if Kendrick knew. Like, he timed it. He's like, oh, you have this. Mm-hmm.
He had to have known, yeah.
Yeah. I have another question here because there was another person that was involved in this situation. J. Cole. Right? He dropped a diss track directly pointed at Kendrick very early on in the beef and then immediately took it down. Basically, and he took some heat for that from fans, especially for his rationale. It was definitely the first time, I'm pretty sure that's the first time in the history of rap that someone put out a diss track and then took it back and said, no, forget it. Don't worry about it. Forget what I said.
Man patted his chest and said, my bad.
But with all that said, you can't deny the fact that J. Cole can just rap circles around dudes.
Yeah, he's an incredibly gifted rapper, technically speaking. I think, and I've thought this for a long time, he's boring. He's so boring. I'm so bored by everything J. Cole does. So to be in a space with Drake and Kendrick where you have to like capture attention and bring excitement, I think he made a very wise decision. I think this most recent track is like a little revisionist history. Oh, I could have won if I stayed in, blah, blah, blah. No, just like, don't bring it up again. We all remember you got clowned, and then everybody afterwards was like, you know what? Smart. Stick with that. Just let that live.
So here's a scenario that could have been interesting. Because J. Cole, again, technically sound, right? So what if J. Cole and Drake just put out diss tracks together? Like basically they were just...
Yeah, maybe they have something, I guess. I don't know what kind of like... The problem is I don't know what kind of skeletons J. Cole's got. And I feel like if anybody can, exercise some demons out of anybody's closet, it's Kendrick. He's just, I don't know, so masterful. I would never dream of picking him as an enemy. That's crazy. Yeah. The man is a Pulitzer Prize winner. What are you doing?
Well, it probably would have started a race war because two light skins linking up against a dark skin. You don't want that. Skins. Like Lance Stevenson would have came on Kendrick's side, and we know what's going on there.
Oh, it's like a civil war.
Yes. And light skins ain't winning. Drake dropping some sweet picks today.
I saw that.
Blue ribbon clips in his hair, puffing his lips.
That's a one piece, right? I think he's wearing a one piece in it, right? Jean one piece.
Looking like a little light skinned baddie.
Wow.
Speaking of clips, wasn't Pusha T the original Pulitzer Prize winner?
Did you just call Drake a baddie? Are we not? Can we not see
sweeter man? He's a sweeter man.
Oh God.
Wow. Okay, Sean, go ahead.
I was gonna say you're talking about light skin versus dark skin, and he said clips, so I thought of Pusha T being the original reporter.
Yeah, another loss for Drake, right?
Skeletons in his closet.
Oh yeah. He outed.
He started
outed Drake's son.
Imagine that being like a diss though in the 90s.
Yeah,
times have changed.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of the 90s, there was a young man in the 90s who was quite popular.
Great segue, by the way.
He was seemingly responsible for bringing us a lot of legends like Biggie Smalls, the late great Craig Mack. I mean, legend is maybe a stretch there, but hey, that first album. P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Hey, let's just be honest. He's been a menace for decades. Dancing in all the videos. I don't know if you guys remember that line.
Come to death, bro.
Just nonsensically ad-libbing on some of my favorite hip-hop records. Abusing young musicians and establishing... Actually, shouldn't even say young musician. He's done some egregious things to some vets as well. But yeah, just doing no favors for anyone who was signed to Bad Boy. I don't think anyone has actually capitalized.
It's like literally no one.
No one.
Literally no one. The Locks, Shine, Black Rob, the list is long.
G-Dep, G-Dep went to jail. Shine went to jail.
Yep.
I mean, if anything, everyone's life got worse as a result of P. Diddy, of Diddy.
Mace became a pastor.
We need to investigate that.
Got to repent.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah,
he saw some stuff.
He did.
It all makes sense now.
And we laughed at him. This crazy world.
It's true. We did.
But yeah. I mean, Diddy, he's done a lot of things. I mean, since we last recorded a conversation for this show, the authorities have really gone after Diddy, alleging some heinous things. And it feels like this man is toast. Steven, is this guy going to jail? Is Diddy going to jail?
So, Diddy's current address is 80 29th Street, Brooklyn, New York. That's a detention center. The Metro Brooklyn Detention Center. So he's going to jail. He's the first black man that the government said, hey, we don't want $50 million from you. You're just going to stay in jail. He did everything that they said, probably more. So I think these guys going to jail, man. Like
prison.
Yeah. Like I was on his side when he said, no, I didn't do anything. And then after the video came out with him beating Cassie.
Yeah.
And then after he's like, okay, I apologize to my lawyer. And then he settled up. I'm like, see, nah, you lied, got caught. So everything else they say, I just got to believe. So it's screwed.
I don't know. Diddy had a lot of friends too. A lot of people who've benefited from his music, his business, his behavior, his actions. So I think there are a lot of people. There's a long list of people that might not want to see anything come of this. But who knows? I don't know.
No, but when the head of the snake goes down, you're good. Head of the snake goes down, everyone else underneath, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Yeah.
So you don't think anyone else is going to go down with Diddy?
No, I think everyone else is settling behind closed doors. He was arrogant and was like, nah, I didn't do nothing. And then that's it, got caught. And then fled. The fleeing thing just rubbed authorities the wrong way. And then if you see the video, they said he was supposed to turn himself in New York. And these like 3 white detectives just casually walk up to him as he's coming out from dinner and just, hey, we need to talk to you. He knew what was up. And he just walks with them. No struggle, no give me a second, no let me go to my hotel room. Just walked with them. So to me, that's compliance, but it's guilt. Like, your time's up.
Sean, you be keeping up with Diddy?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, to answer that question, who is going down with him? I mean, I just saw this like crazy report about the lube in his house being laced with GHB, and which is like the date rape drug. So just the amount of lube, like that would have to be some like industrial manufacturing. Like it's not him with like a teaspoon pouring it in his bottles one by one. It's like a factory doing this. So whoever is doing that should go down with him.
Is it the people from making the band? Are they having
possibly, or like all the former Bad Boy employees and rappers who don't work anymore?
All right, you guys, what's next?
Basketball. Basketball's been happening. We got to move on to Basketball Matters because, well, this is a basketball podcast. The Boston Celtics, unfortunately, are defending champs. Unfortunately.
We don't need to hear that.
Yeah. Skip.
Yeah. The Knicks, they tried to upgrade with Karl Anthony Towns. The Nuggets, well, they don't feel too confident because their future is tied to Jamal Murray's health, which is questionable.
Not feeling
it's
good.
Questionable. It's not, yeah.
But they upgraded that point guard, though. Westbrook's there.
True. Reggie Jackson's trash, so
yeah,
doesn't take much.
Philly had a new trio. But Paul George is doing Paul George things. He's injured again, and injured in the worst way possible. Probably worse than his injury where he broke his leg in half. This one, he's turned into a meme. Imagine being a meme when you're injured. Like that's very painful in many different ways, emotionally and physically. It looks like Philly's trio is no more. At least it won't be for several months. We got OKC. I mean, OKC dropped. They dropped Josh Giddey, and they upgraded to Alex Caruso. And what's the other guy's name? The black guy
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Right.
I wouldn't necessarily say upgraded, but they've.
We'll fight about that later, okay?
Anyways, well, so much has happened. I mean, let's not forget the Lakers adding Bronny to their roster.
Oh, let's not forget that.
You missed one thing though with Philly, is that Embiid no longer plays back-to-backs.
Mm-hmm. Forever.
But he signed a crazy deal in the offseason.
Oh man.
Daryl Morey is his GM, so I'm not surprised.
Wait, did he? Is that an actual fact that he's no longer playing back to backs? Not.
This is something that he
That's
said.
What he said. He said he'll probably never play back to backs for the rest of his career.
I was thinking like he's gonna take every other game off, but okay, back to back days. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Same thing. He'll probably take those off too. Like,
I mean, I can't even blame him, honestly. I mean, the NBA's had back to backs in preseason basketball.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, but
It's
that's
ridiculous.
like that's crazy because that's team choice. I think
It is
you can
team
choose
choice.
how many preseason games you play.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I mean, some of those games, though, like half the guys don't play. Like the rotation guys don't play.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have to travel, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of movement around the league. With all that said, my first question to the three of you is this. What team would you consider to be overrated coming into this season? We'll start with that. Go around the room.
So I'll start because I know there's going to be some serious rebuttal to this. And it pains me to say it because they're one of my teams, but I think it's OKC. And let me just put some context on this. I see them ranked number 2 on most power rankings. And last year they were a second round playoff team. And I just don't think they got any better. Or, they may have made some lateral moves. I don't think Hartenstein is the complete answer for their lack of interior physicality. Like if you remember the playoffs last year, those 2 centers on Dallas had their way with Holmgren on the defensive end, and I don't think Hartenstein is gonna resolve that long term. I also didn't love the Giddey for Caruso trade. They already have a world-class perimeter defender in Lu Dort. That said, his style does get him into some foul trouble, and Caruso could help spell some of that. But I don't think, it improves him a whole lot. And speaking of Giddey, I don't think he has a super high ceiling, but he was pretty good the last couple of years, and he's just going to get better for the next few years. I could see him being in that fringe all-star conversation someday, but I mean, I don't think, and I feel like Caruso also might start to show his age pretty soon. They didn't have to keep Giddey, but I feel like they could have gotten a better haul in return. Sam Presti doesn't do much wrong, but I didn't agree with him on this one. And obviously SGA is amazing, and I really do hope that they prove me wrong, but like I had them going to the Western Conference Finals last year. And they were further away than I thought they were after that loss to Dallas in the playoffs. I feel like it was super underwhelming, and I just don't think they did enough in the offseason to be in that Final Four this year.
Ooh, can I jump in, please?
By all means.
Okay, so you thought that trading Josh Giddey, a guy who needs the ball in his hands like all the time, for an all defensive player first team was a bad trade? Just want to check that I have that right. Is that correct?
I mean, like a young, up-and-coming, really good player in Josh Giddey that was amazing in the Olympics this year, and I think averaged 16 points a game 2 years ago, and this year was averaging 12 before all that shit went down, and then he came back and averaged 15 the last half of the year with 7 assists a game. He's super young, and Caruso being 30 years old, yes, I do think that was a bad trade.
He's 29 for one thing, but quibbling. Josh Giddey can't shoot to save his life, and they have SGA and Holmgren who need the ball. I think it's an incredible trade for them because they ship off somebody who they're not going to be able to afford. They're going to be in rough shape contract-wise in the next couple of years. So they get off of his contract, his upcoming contract, and they move him for a guy who's going to, like you said, be able to come in for Dort when Dort gets into foul trouble and have next to no drop off. Caruso's one of the best role players, I think, in the NBA. And Hartenstein, who they got for nothing other than cap space, was so pivotal for New York and their interior defense. So I'm not sure where you're coming from with he's not going to solve the interior defense problem, because he's exactly that. And he's developing a jump shot. Who knows if it becomes a thing? Maybe, maybe not. But I think you're going to be proven wrong about Hartenstein really, really quickly into the season.
that may be the case. I think you're going to be proven wrong about Giddy and Caruso.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Caruso's 30, by the way.
Are we gonna
Caruso
have
is
Giddy
30, and Giddy's
Caruso
22.
watch?
Both standing on it. Giddy Caruso watch in the group chat.
All right, see you there.
Last time we had a player watch, it lasted all but what?
Steph Curry,
2 weeks?
1 week, 2 weeks. And I do want to couch something though in this watch. Josh Giddey's going to be playing for a really, really bad Chicago team. So I don't want to hear all these empty stat, no win nonsense. Okay. I need to see some effective winning from Giddey.
I mean,
advanced stats only.
He was good on a really good OKC team.
I don't agree with you, but I think he was okay on a really good OKC.
I think in terms of, he, having him as a starter, for me anyway, I would love to see him come off the bench a little bit more.
Sure.
I think he'd make a kind of
I
great
think he'd be an
6 man.
excellent bench player. Agreed.
I mean, there's a lot of great guys, a lot of great bench players that have made really good careers, like Jamal Crawford and.
But you said all-star, so
I said fringe all-star. I said fringe all-star conversation. I didn't say he's going to be an all-star potentially, but he could be someday. Like on the Chicago, I mean, he's obviously not going to be an all-star in Chicago, but like if he had continued his progression on OKC, averaging 16 points a game in his second year in the NBA, that's a step in the right direction of being an all-star.
Sure. Big drop off that third year though.
Yeah, but he was also going through a lot of off the court stuff and when that all got resolved, he did show a lot of improvement. And he was incredible in the Olympics as well.
Time will tell. That's true. Olympic basketball, different thing though. You know who else was incredible? Evan Fournier.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best player in the world.
You lost me there.
That's right.
Oh, you had me, but then you lost me. I had no idea that Sean was such a Giddy guy.
Big Giddy guy over here.
Wow.
Giddy for Giddy.
I mean, just for the sake of the argument, but like, yeah, he was really good in the playoffs, and I feel like he got a bad rap because of everything that went down, and his reputation took a big hit. I'd like to see him come out of that a little bit and reestablish himself.
Yeah, he's been exonerated.
What was his nickname before that? Do you remember?
Just
I just remembered it. No. Before that, it was the Slob Wizard.
Oh, that's nasty.
Sideline out of bounds. That's what Slob stands for.
Yeah. Like he's a really good passer from sideline.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his best skill.
No one named him that, man.
Who does that?
Google that
he
shit.
named
I
himself.
guarantee. Oh, sorry.
I'm Googling
Google.
it on
I
my
guarantee you. Yeah, look up Josh Giddey's Slob Wizard on your computer at work. Okay,
that's like his attributes, like great side-out passer.
Wizard.
Yep.
Number one skill.
Hey, yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. Wow.
All right, you guys, what's next?
Who's your overrated, Mitch?
I've got the Minnesota Timberwolves as my overrated team.
Damn.
I know. I like them. I like the way they're made up, but they had really bad spacing issues with Cat, and it's going to be worse with Randall. That guy sits in the middle of the paint like he lives there. Yeah. He's going to clog things up for Anthony Edwards. It's already tough enough playing Rudy on the offensive end. And I really like Ant. I think he's the real deal. I like Gobert as well. But I think Julius Randle's a really, really bad fit on that team, and he's going to demand touches too. I don't like the trajectory for them.
Was that a head scratcher for everyone else, that trade? Like, it just seemed like was it always kind of in the works? Was there signs that they're going to trade Cat? Like, for me, it just came out of left field.
No, Cat said he didn't know.
Yeah, and it always. I think on the other end, it was always pretty clear to me, at least, that like Randle was the odd guy out on that team.
Right.
But I don't know that Cat's. Yeah, I don't
Minnesota's
know. It's
side,
it's
like,
weird.
I thought they would have traded Gobert before Cat.
Agreed.
Well, there's rumors that Rick Brunson really liked Cat and wanted him.
Yeah, everyone in the NBA likes Cat. Like, he's got an amazing skill set.
No. No.
I don't want Cat anywhere near my team.
Thanks.
Anyway, I feel like most teams would take him in a heartbeat, though.
And you know what? For any team out there that does get him, New York is probably the best because they can like hide his defensive shortcomings a little bit because they're disgustingly good defensive team.
Well, they were when they had Hartenstein.
They still are, man. OG is like I still live firmly on the OG bandwagon. That guy's nuts.
That is a fast moving bandwagon because there's not a lot of people on it.
I'm on it. I live there.
I mean, Mitchell Robinson, when he's healthy, is a really good defender, but
which is never
healthy. I think he's injured right now.
He is, yeah, weeks out.
And when was the last time Cat played anywhere near a full season?
This year, no,
a big issue.
Last year, no. Like I was going to say,
yeah. He had a full season last year, I think.
That's good.
But the year before, he missed like 20, 30 games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not too high on that trade. I don't think it's going to pay the dividends that everyone's looking for on both sides.
I got to just say I was incorrect. He played 62 games last year and 29 the year before that.
Ew.
Yep.
Steven?
Well,
Steven.
Listen, I can't say it loud enough.
Say it.
The most overrated team is. Bitch, you don't want me to say it.
Say it.
Listen, I got my boys here to help me let y'all know who the most overrated team is, right?
What's up? Hey, baby, the Knicks just took another victory home. We going to the All-Star break, going up 500. New York is real for once, baby. Let's go.
The New York Knicks are the most overrated team, and you guys just helped me out by talking about them. For offseason, the Villanova boys was a thing. Then we got Brunson's dad chirping DiVincenzo. And then Towns is your big. This mix-up, we've seen this before. New York made that stupid big three before, and it just crashed out. It's going to crash out again. This team is overrated. They are not as good as what they think. Like, what are they? They're on like a group chat, FaceTiming each other, BFFs. Randall wasn't a part of the group chat, so you got to leave. So what do they do?
Clipperish.
They add in a little light-skinned tall guy who can't play defense or grab rebounds. I saw Cat the other day shooting threes again. They don't need you to shoot threes. What are you doing? You still don't understand the assignment. I can't wait for this team to crash and burn. You got guys like Stephen A. Smith who are happy that their team just got a big, and then they're like, yep, Mitchell Robinson's going to be out most of the year. All the Knicks, this and that again. It's the same cycle. Your head coach is going to run you guys to the dirt. Tibbs going to make you guys play until you're hurt. This team is a joke. And it's like, it's all glamorous. Like, yo, the Knicks, you know, you have these, I don't know. It's funny. Like in the NFL, you have the Cowboys, America's team. You love to watch them, but you love to laugh at them. And it's the same thing with the Knicks. They're going to have them MSG. They're probably going to have so many primetime games. I don't know what the Christmas game is, and we're just going to laugh when it burns out. They're not winning. I don't know if they make the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're not better than Boston. Who knows what trades happen in the East to make other teams better than them. I see Giannis just going to town all over. Think of it as like Space Jam. All these small little guards they got, and then Towns? Come on, man. When have we ever said Towns is the winning piece? I gotta watch what I say because I said this last time with Porzingis, and turns out Porzingis did help. So, but come on, Towns is the winning piece. Stop.
Towns is better than Porzingis.
Come on.
I think if OG's healthy, then it could.
But he's okay. But he's gonna miss 20 games. He always does.
At the right time.
I think they're gonna miss Hartenstein for sure, because Cat doesn't give them at all what he did. But like, man, I think you're undervaluing Mikal Bridges, bringing in Mikal Bridges as well.
No, I'm not. That's great. Great value. But you're talking about championship? Nah, overrated. This team is laughable. Brunson
they got a bench too.
How many balls are there? You brought the Villanova boys so you guys can be the scorers. You didn't bring your boys over so you can pass to the bench, did you?
Have we heard this? How many balls are there before though?
No, but with superstars, that's different. This is like best buds. This is like, yo, we're in it. We're clicking up. I'm taking less money so you can come over. Like that's
crazy.
This was nonsense.
Jalen taking how much less? 60 million or something?
This is, and then his dad's running the team and talking. Shut up, bro. Like, what is going on here?
I think your best point was that Cat is not going to be able to vibe with Tibbs and Tibbs.
Yeah.
Style.
Didn't work out last time.
I know, and it worked out badly, very badly.
I can't wait to laugh. This is just laughable to me.
All right, you guys, what's next?
I mean, we're talking about players, individual players. Going into this season, are there any players that you consider to be overrated?
I mean, overhyped. I would say the only correct answer is Bronny, because he's getting way too much attention. Like for someone that's probably not even going to make the NBA. But
for maybe a G League player.
Yeah. I mean,
55th pick though.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't expect him to do much.
So then they should stop talking. Yeah, exactly. The most talked about 55th pick ever.
I think it's his dad.
That's probably true.
One guy I can say who hasn't been getting a lot of attention, but just kind of his local team has been giving him a lot of hype, and he's being called the next Splash Brother, is Buddy Hield.
Oh,
no one said that.
I feel like I've heard some rumblings. I feel like Golden State is going to be very mid this year, and Buddy going 1 for 13 every other game isn't going to change anything. So
better than Clay going 0 for 10 every other game.
Yeah, well, I think Golden State knew Clay was done.
And that's very generous, very nice of you, Sean, by the way, to say that Golden State Warriors would be mid this year.
You think they're going to be sub 500?
I think they're going to be sub 500.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mid is generous, and that's just because the respect I have for
Curry
previous legacy.
All right. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Why do you have to? No, that's a conversation for a different day, I guess.
I've got two guys who I don't think they get a ton of hype, but they get talked about more than they should, and I think they should be talked about not at all. Zach LaVine and LaMelo Ball. I'm so tired of hearing that this is like Zach LaVine's coming back healthy. It's like, no, neither of those guys affect winning at all. Actually, they do affect winning in the sense that they affect losing. They're just, I'm so over the Bulls. I'm so over the Hornets. Let's just get both of those guys with minor injuries that don't affect them in real life, but take them out of my conversation. That's what I hope for.
Wow.
Nothing too serious.
It's tough to say that about LaMelo because he hasn't played enough NBA games to really show one way or the other if he's going to be.
He's played enough. He's played enough.
Well, then, I mean, I feel like when he played, he was really good. He was on the
really good, really good, man.
Yeah.
This guy, the Josh Giddey and LaMelo Ball train over here.
I mean, would you guys not say LaMelo outside of Mitch?
He was rookie of the year.
Yeah, he was a very good rookie when he was healthy.
Yeah. Listen, I got two quick overrated players because I saw them in the same clip. Y'all probably saw the same clip. Kyle Kuzma's coming down. Ben Simmons is guarding him. Kuzma did a little hezzy. Simmons falls.
Dropped him.
Kuzma drops, chucks up the shot with confidence. That damn ball hit the bottom of just air ball. I'm not sure if it touched the bottom mesh. Just air ball. And I'm like, man, you both are just poo. Like, what is going on?
He should have turned around before the shot came down and just started celebrating.
Give the James Harden shoulder shimmy after he dropped Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Jordan Poole dropped an air ball same game, so you can join them too. All three of you.
I saw my favorite thing I've seen. I saw that clip, but I also saw someone tweeted, "Let's just get this out of the way," and it was a picture of Kuzma and Jordan Poole, and it said "eliminated from the playoffs" before the season before it even started. I'm like, yeah,
man.
Michael Carter-Williams officially retired.
Oh, just now?
Well, no. October 12th.
He was on Orlando last year, right? And he was playing in the playoffs, significant minutes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He's called it a career.
Limited minutes that they had in the playoffs.
Yeah. Danny Green, same. He announced his retirement.
Bye.
This month. And, of course, Derrick Rose. Wow, if you look at the list of players who've retired, Joe Harris, what happened?
Yeah. Bad. Just did one thing pretty okay.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward.
Been bad for a bunch of years.
And of course, Cardiac Kemba. Feels like this is our in memoriam section of the show. Shout out to the fallen soldiers, Kemba Walker, Mike Muscala.
Cool. Moose.
I mentioned Gordon Hayward, of course. Jeremy Lamb. Rudy Fernandez. John Henson. Old school Milwaukee Buck back in the day. Big. Greg Monroe, another big from Detroit Pistons back in
Milwaukee too.
What was his nickname, Greg Monroe?
Slob. Scott. What was
Jeez.
Slob Moose.
Slobber. Remember Ish Smith, journeyman. He played for like every NBA team.
Wait, he retired?
Isn't he coaching somewhere? No.
He's a scout for the Wizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Too bad.
Yeah. And then of course Danny Green. Danny Green retired.
Thanks a lot, Joel Embiid.
Wait, Danny Green retired?
Yeah.
He should be locked up like Diddy.
Wow.
Pardon?
Are we going back there again?
Yeah, we have to. We gotta end it.
I thought we weren't gonna talk about that stuff on the podcast, man.
We never discussed that.
Okay, let's go. Let's get into it.
No.
Did I miss something about Danny Green?
I need to hear this context.
You all didn't. I told you guys about Danny Green.
Yes, he did. These guys are forgotten.
These guys forgot. I gotta tell them. Is this are we recording?
We're recording. Danny Green, let's go.
I ain't no snitch. What's going on here?
All right, that's for late. That's for later.
All right.
Why the fuck I can't shoot 3-point shots?
That brings us to the end of this episode of High and Low. Hope you enjoyed this special installment of the program. It's great having these guys back. It's great to talk basketball with these gentlemen. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Mitch. Remember, we're still around. And, you never know when we'll drop a surprise for the real high and low life. Sort of like what Taylor Swift does for her Swifties, or when Beyonce slaps down a whole album on a table out of nowhere for the Beehive. So even though we're on a hiatus,
or when Diddy
subscribe to High and Low.
No, you gotta say it now.
I don't want to be aligned with Taylor Swift. I'd rather be aligned with what Diddy was doing. He had the game popping. He had the game popping. Mitch, go give me that cheesecake. And you knew you had to get it. You know why? Did you just lick your fingers, or was that just the mic picked that up?
Yeah.
Loud and clear, man.
This guy wants to be so far away from Taylor Swift that he's willing to run right into Diddy's arms. That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's better running to his arms than anything else.
Backwards. Yeah.
Backwards and bent over. This guy. Oh, looking meek. Let's move on quickly. Well, you know where to find us. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on X. We're on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. Where can people find you guys, man? Where can they find you? Mitch.
I can't be found anymore. That's it. I've retired from Raptors HQ. This happens at once every, half, quarter, whatever. Don't find me. I'm in the wind.
In the wind. Back to parts unknown. And Sean, where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to be found. The people who can find me are the people that want to find me, so don't find me.
Wow. This is the antisocial episode. All right. Steven, where can they find you? Do you want to be found?
I can be found at midwife appointments.
Oh, well, once again, music is by Live of the Enjoy Music Group. You can find Live on X and on Instagram at LYVE. Additional music is possibly by Sonny Rockwell of The Goodness. You can find Sonny Rockwell at, I'm just playing, you can't find him anywhere. Sound design by Vonn August. This is a Vonn+Abrahamm podcast, just in case you didn't know. So on behalf of these guys, on behalf of Mitch, on behalf of Sean, On behalf of Steven and Hugo the Sheik, just want to thank you for listening to High and Low, and we'll talk to you next time.
Someone say something about Diddy.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! No!
Whoa! What did you just say?